So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq. And it is Tuesday, and it is the Demetra K podcast and show on YouTube, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better, right? Always room for improvement. And so, on this Tuesday, Donovan and I are going to have two discussions. One, we're going to have a discussion about this guy, the reporter, I guess, from Newsmax, named Greg Kelly. And he said some pretty interesting things about the Juneteenth holiday, which we had yesterday. Officially, the federal holiday was yesterday, but the real date is June 19th. And we're going to have a discussion about the dating situation that took place. I guess it was somewhere in New York, from what I understand.
No, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. No, Dallas, Texas took place. And we're going to show y'all both videos, and we're going to have a discussion here. So, Donovan, what happened to you today? You have some good news for us.
Yes, I have some outstanding news. Now, when you guys are doing a social media like you guys do, some of you guys that have your own pages and stuff, and you got your own TikToks and stuff, you guys better get a lawyer, because you could be sued for some of the things you say, some of the things you post. And we're not saying that you're going to get sued because you did something wrong. You got a lot of ignorant people out there that go by their feelings, and they will sue you because they think they can. And as you know, in American court of justice, people can sue you for anything. So if you don't have a lawyer, get to know some, because I needed one today, and he was masterful as I won my civil harassment case. I was the defendant, and I won on all points. She did not make 1 point of order in her case. It was all about how she felt, what I called her, what I said about her husband, her family, whatever. So basically, my case actually ended up becoming a First Amendment case, because it upheld my rights to do social media and to go around the city and to be a reporter, a recovering Democrat, or the Inland Empire Informer, and do what I do. So big ups to the justice system for the first time in my, no, not the first time, but it's been working for a Black man recently, this Black man.
Absolutely. So kudos to you. And I'm glad that is over, because I know it was getting on your nerves. All right. So to our first topic that we are going to discuss right now is that of a news anchor on a news show called Newsmax. I guess it's a network. And his name is Greg Kelly. And as you guys know, as I said a minute ago, Juneteenth was celebrated yesterday officially as a federal holiday. And the original date is June 19th. Of course, you know that Galveston, Texas was the last to get the orders that slavery was over in 1865 on June 19th, when, in essence, slavery had ended almost 2 years before they got the notice. And so Juneteenth is the official celebration. Now, in all fairness, Juneteenth has been being celebrated for a very long time. So just because Joe Biden made an official holiday doesn't mean that we weren't already celebrating it, but they made it more official. But not everybody was really happy about, the Juneteenth holiday. And I'll show you guys a perfect example. Listen to this clown.
The last thing this country needs is another opportunity to get wasted. And that's what people are doing, all right? We drink on the Super Bowl, we drink on Christmas, and people are drinking on this Juneteenth. And yeah, all across the country, pub crawls, yeah, Juneteenth bar crawl. Let's drink up to honor what happened in Texas all those years ago. Again, this country, we have major addiction problems all over the place. Yet another opportunity to drink or get high? No, because if you put this stuff together, especially in urban areas where the Juneteenth celebrations have been the most intense, you got alcohol plus guns plus time on your hands plus weed plus heat and the overall resentment of the system. What's that going to result in? Any guesses?
So as you saw there, Greg Kelly, who is, a big time racist, he feels like Juneteenth is another opportunity for people to get high and wasted and, create malfeasance on the streets, because, when you throw heat in with Black people, we, do like gremlins and we just like go crazy, right? That's pretty much what he was saying. But he also said, here's another holiday. We have Christmas and some other things. And y'all notice how he threw Christmas in there, maybe to not sound as racist because, everybody celebrates Christmas. But when he says this Juneteenth, he said it was such, like just, these Negroes, right? This Juneteenth. They're celebrating it. And, you notice all the pictures he showed. They were of Black people drinking and hanging out because he says all it takes is alcohol, drugs, time, weed, and heat for Negroes to really start acting a fool. So he showed all these pictures of Black people out and about doing various things that they, he deemed to be horrible, just wasting time with nothing to do, because that's what he said. So basically he was saying, giving us this holiday was just contributing to, that of the nothingness that we always already participate in, and we're already drunkards and weed heads and all these other
baby
things.
mamas and all the stereotypes out there.
Yeah, so we're that's just making it worse. Now, mind you, Joe Biden did give us that holiday. When I say he gave us to us, I'm saying that loosely. He gave us that holiday. Last year, he signed it into an executive order that from now on, it will be a federal holiday. It's still not a state holiday, but it's a federal holiday. So states do not.
He gave us that under duress. He didn't want to do it, but they made him.
Right. States do not have to observe that holiday, or any company for that matter, but on the federal level, because, states have the right to do what they want. And a lot of states did not recognize Juneteenth as a holiday. But, this particular clown feels like, because that's what they gave Black people, that it was just another reason for Black people to act up and, be degenerates of society. So we're going to have that conversation about him. I mean, Newsmax, I don't know where you can find this particular news channel. Never really heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it here and there, but not on a larger scale. But he was so free in his lips to say such a thing, like this is every day. But the other thing too is I won't get into what I have to say, but y'all saw the video. So Donovan, what say you?
Well, again, does he have a point? Does he have a point? I don't think he does. I'm just saying, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. Does he have a point? Because it seems like every time there's some kind of holiday, official or not official, people act up. Now, mind you, St. Patrick's Day. Don't white people act up during St. Patrick's Day and go into the bars and just drink, fight, and so on, so forth? I think they do that. So what would make us any different? When they gave us something, that's supposed to be for, for us to lounge and stuff. And back to your point in regards to the states, do you guys realize only 13 states of 50, 13 of 50, that is a paid holiday at the state level, is a paid holiday. Okay, so a lot of people don't know that because they've been celebrating it for years. So a lot of people don't know that. But I just, why is it that when Black people are given anything, just given a little crumb, a little a bone off the plate, somebody in that community has a problem with it, like they've done something so significant that we don't deserve it. I mean, it's a crumb. It's symbolism, and this jackass has a problem with it.
Well, and I mean, there's a few things going on with that. I mean, not is it a crumb, because Juneteenth wasn't just for Black people to celebrate. Yeah. It was for everybody to celebrate, for whatever reason. But the other thing is, you just gonna gloss over the fact of why we needed a Juneteenth in the first place, why Juneteenth was necessary, is because your cracker ancestors, had our people in bondage and slavery in the worst condition ever that Black people have been in, during that time. And, y'all in the South did not want to free the slaves. And in fact, y'all wanted to keep slaves and where we were, when I say we're talking about ancestors. Yeah. So the fact that the Civil War took place and y'all lost, you had to let us go, and we didn't have it that much better after that. But I say a funky holiday from my chest with all my heart. We get a funky holiday and you mad because now that's another day to celebrate. It's like, shut your cracker ass up. Mm-hmm. First of all, your people making more money from this holiday, because what do as Black people? We go out there and spend more money with every corporation from Walmart all the way down to the Dollar Tree to go celebrate this funky holiday that they gave us as if they doing something for us. First of all, let's acknowledge the fact of why the holiday was even necessary. And that's that you, Greg Kelly, I'm sure your family or somebody who started Newsmax is sitting on a fortune that came directly from slavery. And so you mad because a Negro get to go drink a beer on a federal holiday or whatever the case is. And I don't know of anybody who, and I'm not saying people weren't, but I don't know if anybody was out there like, okay, it's Juneteenth. Let me smoke some weed, drink some alcohol, go out there and get in the heat, and then go out there and have a fight with the police. But that's what the white media does. They create this hysteria. Oh, look at these Negroes. They out of control. And so that's also a dog whistle to say, if we give them reparations, oh, how do you really think they're going to
my gosh.
They're going to be running the plantation. So, you know, he left out a lot in his commentary, which he did it on purpose. It was very racist. And that was red meat to the people who watch. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you know, yeah, they just, all they need to do is just, it's like I said, a gremlin. You pour some water on it and it's the gizmo and it's going to turn into a gremlin. Mm-hmm. That's how he tried to paint black people.
Yeah, it's almost like Malcolm X said 60 something years ago. You know, they sell you alcohol and then call you a drunk. You know, they give you drugs and they call you a drug addict. You know, they do this stuff and then they talk about it. They break your leg and then they want to call you a cripple, but they take no responsibility for it themselves. And you know, it's just it chaps my hide how these demons have the nerve to even put Juneteenth right next to Father's Day. And I'm speaking from a father. So we had almost two holidays within the same vernacular area to where it was like, of course, it happens to the dads. Not only are we going to barbecue, honey, why don't we just barbecue and we can celebrate Juneteenth at the same time and bring the grandkids over? I want some peace in my house.
Well, I think that was probably, I mean, the Father's Day calendar, I'm sure that was put on there for many years. And so Joe Biden just enacted Juneteenth, which happens to be June 19th.
Yeah. But you know, it just kind of messed up because, like I said, you know, nobody cares about fathers like that. I mean, you wouldn't see them. Okay, Memorial Day is the 30th. You didn't see them put Memorial Day on Mother's Day.
Well, because Father's Day, what is it? The second week of the month or the third?
It's the second weekend. It's the second weekend, yeah.
Something like that. Like that. So I think that's probably what it is more than anything. Yeah. But you know, and the other thing that they're not speaking about, you know, he showed all these pictures of this, you know, wildness and these people are out of control. And of course, they went and got footage from the neighborhood. We'll talk about why those neighborhoods are like that. That's like that because Black people were robbed. Our ancestors were robbed of our reparations, of what you owe us, your people owed us from the institution of slavery. And even to this day, still shortchanging and robbing Black folks. And so when you go and show those videos and pictures in those neighborhoods, tell the whole story, Greg Kelly. Tell the whole story of why those neighborhoods are like that. Also tell the story that it's going to take us 232 years to catch up to the wealth of white people without the infusion of reparations. And so when you talk about, I almost kind of envision he was talking about it's like we're zombies, we're monsters running around here. But it's like, you're not telling the whole story of what your people did. Like they so evil and salty to where they won't even touch why the holiday was even necessary. Do you think slavery was a good thing? I mean, it's in the Constitution. I think it's what is it? Article 1, Section 9. And
where they define what a slave is?
Huh?
Where they define what a slave is?
No, let me find it. Go ahead.
You know, but let me just say this, though. You know, I'm looking at the video, and remember in the 90s when everybody used to go to Freaknik and stuff like that, and people used to have a good time. And yeah, it started getting out of control here and there. But in the video you showed, I didn't see people twerking. I didn't see people, you know, I'm sure they were probably doing it. But, you know what I mean? It didn't get out of control to where somebody got killed. I didn't hear any, you know, mass shootings and stuff like that. I mean, you know, like I said, anytime a Black person has a good time, they have a problem with it.
Yeah, and so Article 1, Section 9 says, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States.
Correct.
And no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind, whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. So basically what that was saying is, Congress, you guys cannot tell us, because at the time they were still able to, I think it was up to 1808, they were still able to go and steal slaves from Africa. But Congress was kind of saying, well, no, we think we want to cut that out. And so this constitution was changed to basically say, Congress, you cannot tell us how to go about getting slaves because we need the labor, blah, 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 blah. Only thing that you can do as Congress is impose up to a $10 tax on each slave. But as far as y'all telling us that we can't go get any more slaves or things like that, you know, we can't do that. So the point that I'm even making to all that is they were still bringing Africans, stealing, not bringing like, we're like, hey, here's my suitcase, I want to go. They were stealing Africans up until, you know, past that time. And yet our people were not vindicated or paid or for any of that kind of stuff. And we get one funky holiday, and your forefathers even put it into the Constitution that you can't tell us not to go steal more Black people. You can't tell us. And so you talking about you being Greg Kelly, you talking about, you know, how unruly Black people would be on this holiday, but you don't talk about your unruly ass ancestors. What unruly is raping, stealing, killing, and maiming, and all other things you did to our people. That's unruly. That is downright savage. And so the images that he showed of our people being savage, if you will, that pales in comparison to the stuff your ancestors did to our people. But they don't never want to talk about that. And like you said, it's really just jealousy. They're jealous because Black people get something that we really didn't even ask for. And we was already celebrating Juneteenth, so that wasn't anything that was given to us. I'll tell you, when you can turn beet red, Greg Kelly, you can turn beet red when they start giving us some checks for the horrors that your peoples exacted upon our people. That's when you can start getting mad. But a funky holiday? Are you serious?
That we never asked for. We didn't ask for I mean, you know, we already celebrated, but we didn't ask Joe Biden for no damn holiday. We asked for tangibles. So you're going to get mad at Black people for something that your people put out there that we didn't ask for? That, you know, that's kind of, you know, it's kind of crazy. If you don't like that, then just cut us the check. Just cut us the check and we'll go among our merry way, sir. Cut us the check and go among our merry way. But the problem is, you know, just like Demetra knows, and a lot of the folks out there know, that you probably are sitting on generations of wealth that was built by Black slaves that were here. And that's the bottom line. And you don't want to face it, because usually, you know, when people deflect like that, it's because they have a guilt conscience, you know, in the back of their mind. They know the secret. They know what's going on. It's just like Strom Thurmond and all these other one of the most racist senators in the United States. Come to find out, he had a Black daughter.
You know,
couldn't have been that racist.
But you know what? I don't even think it's guilt. I think it's learned behavior from their people, right? They've never thought that Black people were worth anything more than chattel, right? We were a product. We, you know, were something to go and make them money. So they never liked or respected Black people at all. And so those attitudes have just been passed down to their, you know, kids. Greg Kelly, you know, they taught that Black people weren't nothing, and we shouldn't have said no Black man will ever have a right that a white man should respect. And so the same attitude is true, and they're just really now being emboldened and feeling free enough to say that. Like, we don't like Black people, but you think about it, because I was thinking about this the other day. I said, how much of a demon spawn do they really have to be to hate somebody, for so one, bad, because we're Black, and for two, we ain't do nothing to you. As Malcolm X said, hell, y'all landed on us when he was talking about Plymouth Rock. Y'all landed on us. We didn't land on you. And so y'all mad because y'all brought us here, and you could not continue in keeping us in bondage and all the horrors that you were exacting and that still are exacting on our people. Y'all mad. And so those are attitudes and behaviors that have just really been passed down. And he just happens to have a platform where he is free to say those things. The only thing he didn't say was the N-word.
Right, exactly. Or spook, you know.
Yeah.
But like you, sometimes I sit here and I think and I love YouTube because I look at old, movies and old documents. I'm a documentary person, and I look at the civil rights movement, and then I look at sometimes when I see Martin Luther King and all these people marching, and I look at all the white people that are supporting them. Why is it that the very people that marched with King, or my parents or your parents, that were fighting the civil rights era, their grandkids and their kids are so racist? But these were the liberals. Show me a liberal right now, a child of a liberal, that thinks Black people should get reparations. You can't find one. I have yet, among all my friends, white friends, even my Hispanic white friends, my Asian honorary white friends, none of them has ever come out and religiously told me, yeah, Donovan, we think Black people deserve reparations. They never say it. Because you know what? Fundamentally, they don't believe we deserve it. And where are they getting that from? Where are they getting that from?
Well, they feel like you should just get over it. It was so many years ago. It wasn't me. It was, Joe Biden said, I'll be damned if I'm held responsible for something my ancestors did. So that was really his answer to reparations. No, you Negroes ain't getting no reparations. I didn't do it. My ancestors did it, but I'm not going to be responsible for that. So that's just really how they feel. They don't really feel like Black people should have a leg up. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, y'all out here looking for civil rights, but you got to get human rights first. They don't see you as human, but you run around here doing it backwards. Like, first get human rights before you get all this other stuff. Because as we see, civil rights without the human rights has us getting symbolism, right? I had a conversation with an older gentleman. I guess he's round about the civil rights era.
Yeah, he's probably on the tail end of it, but
but he felt like, the civil rights era, was gains for Black people. I said, well, what did we gain? And he could not tell me what we gained. Well, you're not going to just take away from what they did. I said, I'm not taking away. I said, but y'all was fighting for civil rights and y'all should have been fighting for human rights. But so my point being that we don't have human rights. We go to the polls thinking, oh, my vote matters. Oh, I'm going to make a difference. It's like, no, you're not, because you're not voting on nothing specifically for you. You voting on stuff for everybody else. And, this Constitution, the only way it even talks about you as a Negro is the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. And it's all talking about slavery and whether you were a citizen or not. So you got to be considered a human first, but they don't consider us human. That's why they don't see us getting anything. They love to see Black people where we are, and this stuff. We think they think we're gonna get a little bit of butter on our biscuit. Oh wait, I don't see why they getting it.
Well, it's like the civil rights era. They're very comfortable seeing one or two Black people in nice positions, and we're good. We got our entertainers, we got our athletes. Ooh, the millionaires. Ooh, they making. We got Beyonce just dropped a single last night. Ooh, yeah, okay, that's one person, but you can't. That's not representative of the whole. If the majority of us get locked up and put up back on the plantation, how long do these fools think it's going to be before they come after them? It's just going to be a matter of time, because white supremacy, once they're done with their tools, they break them every single time. They break them.
Well, they're going to be in the house.
Well, yeah, but even in the house, you're going to be in chains. Stephen was in the house. Stephen was in the house,
Nah, they're going to be up in the house telling on everybody. Massa. I seen him getting a little too close to the fence today. He might be trying to make a break for it.
Right, exactly. Or remember the movie Life? Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Yeah, exactly. So they got their position already sold up. But really, in all seriousness, he's speaking for a lot of
his
white
heart.
people in America.
He's speaking his heart.
White people sat home while these niggers get this holiday. I don't understand why they get this holiday.
It's funny that you bring that up, because like I said, as I'm in aviation and stuff. And you remember when I would walk around with my leather jacket or whatever, just showing everybody that I'm part of that fraternity. I'm part of the 1% that can fly an airplane in this country, right? White people hate it, and I get challenged all the time, because there's a verbiage you would know if you're really a pilot. You would somebody would say a certain thing to you, and you would kind of know how to respond to it. Or if I tell them I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the best university in aviation, right? It's like they don't believe it, and they're always challenging you. What was your degree in? Aeronautics. You know what I mean? You're always getting that because
so how do you fly an airplane?
Yeah, exactly. How many hours do you have? Well, I don't know, 8,000. I stopped counting after 6,000. I didn't give a shit, right? But they just have this insane jealousy to not see you in their club, especially if you're like me, an outsider, and I ain't a butter biscuit eater. You know, I'm an outsider, so it's like I don't want to be in your club. You know, we have all these great, like the Tuskegee Airmen organizations. These organizations are dying out because these Negroes are getting butter biscuits from the white organizations, and the younger guys aren't coming to, you know, keep it going, and it's just dying out because, again, these old organizations, as historic and as much needed as they're needed, for some reason, our parents' generation, these are some selfish motherfuckers. And I'm going to say that like the 5 heartbeats. Remember that part? My brother.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I want to say it just like that.
You have always been.
Yeah, and but that's the civil rights era generation. They don't want to teach nothing. They don't want to share nothing. They don't want to give up nothing, but have the fucking right, they think, to complain about what's wrong with the people coming up behind them. It's so damn sad.
Yeah. And so, this dude, he just free to just say what's on his racist little bitty peanut mind.
Right. Wait, did Nancy Pelosi or any of the Democrats, or even if the AOC even put a statement out to say this is some bullshit? Of course not.
No, because like I said, he's speaking for a lot of them. They probably all wonder, damn, they're free. They've been free all, like he said, this Juneteenth that, happened so many years ago. Well, like I told old boy yesterday, the civil rights gentleman, I was like, because he mentioned Juneteenth, I said, do you really think we free? I'm like, honestly, I said, do you actually think that we as Black people here in America do you really think that we are free? Well, I know what you mean. We're not, we're free not from, from shackles, but so then why you running around here acting like y'all done did so damn much for Black people? We're no better off. I said, of course, at least during segregation, we were amongst each other. We had our own stuff. I said, but y'all went in there trying to vote to be equal to white people, which, if we Black, we should already be thinking we superior to Black people because we are the superior to Black people. Shit, the first woman to ever walk earth gave birth to this whole nation. We as Black women are mother civilization, so of course we superior. But they went in there trying to, I just want to be equal to you.
Yeah, I just want to be acknowledged. But I have to ask myself this, because to me it's crazy. If I'm looking at it critically and knowledgeably, okay, just logically, what good is it to be able to go into a high-end restaurant, like you hear a lot of our young folks talking? I'm not just talking women, I'm talking the men too. They want to go eat at Steak 48, right? Which is a basic meal there. You're looking at $300, $600 just to sit down, right? To have a meal at these really high expensive restaurants. How can you do that if you ain't got no damn money in your pocket? Well, and then if you're hanging around down there, wouldn't that be considered loitering, which is a crime?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure about all of that. I wouldn't want to spend that kind of money nowhere.
No. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have economic in your pocket and you're economically poor, how can you go to a Macy's? How can you go to a mall and shop down there when you don't have the money?
We
do. But in general, we don't really have it, because if we do go down there and spend it, we're spending all we got.
Right. No, absolutely. And so again, this whole little Juneteenth thing that that was his take on it, Negroes gone wild. Basically what he was saying to my fellow white people, protect yourself, because now they got another reason to celebrate. They gonna be out here, off the chain. But it's like, excuse me, cracker. I know that you have a news organization and you sitting up there on the news. I know you was reporting on January 6th. And I ain't seen nothing but wild white people. There was a couple pepper specks and a bunch of Black people. But they were there because they thought it was that they were giving out free vouchers or something. Yeah, but it was nothing but white people acting like wild savages. They breaking
law, insurrectionists. That should be.
They climbing fences, busting out windows, killing people.
Right. In any other country, when you go against your government, there is no trial. You are dealt with right then and there. In any other country, that's how you deal with insurrectionists. And that's why they say treason doth never prosper. Demetra, why doesn't treason ever prosper?
Well, from what I understand, treason is basically when you are, not loyal to your country, and you should be punished for that. That's the way it used to work. Treason, is punishable by death.
Right. But the reason why it doesn't prosper, because if it prosper, none dare call it treason.
Well, yeah, I can see that. Absolutely.
and that's exactly what went down. So if you're going to try to raise up against your government, you damn well better be successful, or you will pay a very high price with your life.
Yeah, right. These people ain't even getting slaps on the doggone wrist. But anyway,
so sad.
Yeah, just closing out that topic. If he wants to get mad about people out of control, yeah, go to January 6th amongst a whole bunch of other things that, white people just acted a damn fool all over the world. I mean, y'all, white people, where you are, because you ain't nothing but a savage, doing savagery things to people from here and there. That's why they call you colonizers and devils and a whole host of things, because you running around doing evil things to people, and you mad about a holiday, you should be quiet.
Right. But then when they do evil things, they're the first to talk about their rights. You're in another country, but I'm an American. And did you hear about those two Russian guys, or those two Americans that are in Russia right now? Those two ex-military guys. One's a Marine and one's I think he was in the army or something. And Russia's got him right now. And Russia's talking about executing them because they were fighting against Russia when they shouldn't be there.
Well, when in Rome, you got to do what Romans do.
But again, I'm an American, and
you ain't American over there. I mean, exactly. You are, but you got to, follow the
What
rules.
are you doing in a war zone?
Right. Being American, and that's why your ass is in trouble. So anyway, y'all, this next thing that we got coming up here, I'm going to put this on the screen.
So she looks good, too. I got to say that. She does look good. Scrumptious.
So as it says here, she says, went to a singles mixer and only women showed up. So I'm going to show you the video. So this happened, I guess, in Dallas, Texas, where, mixers take place, and singles mixers, usually it's kind of like a speed dating thing, I would guess, where people sit down at a table and they ask each other questions.
Yeah, I've never been to one of those. I want to go. I've never been to one.
Yeah, they see if they're a match or something like that, and then they
get up. Right. That's a way for women to get free drinks and just men to spend their money. Go ahead.
So they go and they match up with different people, and then they switch and go have other conversations. I guess the premise is to see if you're compatible with someone. Well, unfortunately, this happened at this event. It's a quick video, so watch out.
Went to a singles mixer, and only women showed up.
So I see a dude in that black shirt. I thought I saw a dude in that black shirt, unless that was a masculine looking woman, but I thought it was a dude.
Well, let's see. Let's play it again.
Went to a singles mixer, and only women showed up.
Stop. Look at that right there. The guy in the black shirt. Is that a guy?
It looks like it could be a man.
With some sunglasses?
Yeah, it looks like it could be a man. So
I thought it was at first. I thought it was Puff Daddy or what's that, P. Diddy, whatever he's calling himself now.
They talk about right here.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, it looks like it could be a man, so we could say,
look at his watch. Look at his watch. And women don't wear a watch like that. So,
I mean, unless
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
But let's say it was,
okay.
But is it fair to say that he, from what it looks like, was the only man?
Well, like I said, if he was the only man, if that was me, I would have been like the werewolf of London, stalking my prey.
So it looks like that could be a gentleman.
Yeah.
It could
but all in all, it was a very empty venue. Yeah.
Nowadays, you just never know. I mean, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to have a discussion about that. So she says that only women showed up at this mixer. Now, I don't know if they got the word out, how they advertise. I know nothing about this event, but it was sent to me actually a few times. And then I sent it out to people like, wow, men don't want to date anymore. Like, what's really going on? And so with us having no inside knowledge as to why the men there in Dallas, Texas didn't show up, Donovan, what would be your initial synopsis of what you saw?
Well, okay. I know what I'm going to say, of course, is crazy and it's very unpopular, but it's just my observation. Okay. And I got some comments from some of the women and the men in the chat that kind of commented on this thing, but I'm going to give you my observation first. Ladies, why would you expect men to show up when you've got a narrative out there on us that we ain't this, we ain't that, we're not 6 feet, we're not 6 inches, we're not 6 figures? Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe those guys didn't meet the requirement because, again, and all men on the earth, only 12% of us are 6 feet and above. Okay. So that's one thing. But here's some of the comments. One man said, why would men need to show up? That's one guy's basic comment. A woman says, that is a main reason to start divesting. You guys know what divesting means. That means opening your options and doing that. Another man said, men were not 6'6", which is what I just explained, 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches. Okay. Another woman said, plenty of fish in an ocean. Get out of your pond. So she was basically telling women, expand your horizons. And another man said, maybe men are listening to what black men are complaining about. Pretty good points. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong, but.
So I tried to take notes of what you were saying. So first you said, somebody said, it's a good, they're basically saying to divest. Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, a lady said that's a reason to divest.
So a reason to divest. So for those of you guys who do not know, divesting is a form of moving away. And if we're talking about black women, moving away from black men or just not dating black men, because from what somebody told me, divesting doesn't necessarily mean to go date a white man. It just means that we won't date black men. That, from what I understand, that's what it meant.
Yeah. So, it's just go open your options to other races. Yeah.
Right. So they're saying this is a good argument for divesting. Is that what they say? I mean, I don't know how you can base that off a good argument for divesting when that was just one particular situation.
Exactly.
It didn't look like all black men, all single black women in the world were there. Or, that's not to say that all single black men in the world of the United States, however, didn't show up. So there's not enough information to base, to come to that conclusion that black women should divest. And the other thing you said is that, why would men show up if black women have formed a narrative that if you weigh 6 feet 6 and all this other stuff, why does the black man need to show up? Well, again,
maybe they didn't meet the criteria, the 6'6".
Well, but are we dealing in absolutes here, and that every black woman would think that? And my thing is, because I'm a logical thinker, how do those black women showed up? Do you really think they thought all men 6 feet 6 and above were going to show up?
Don't know. I mean, that could be a reason.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making is, there's no intel to say those women are like, well, I'm gonna show up because I just know only men who were 6 feet 6 and above will show up. That doesn't even jive or compute anywhere to make sense. So the other narrative was maybe black men got the memo about what other brothers are complaining about.
No, other sisters are complaining about what black women are complaining about.
What black women are complaining about. What are we complaining about?
Black men ain't shit. We're bad fathers. We're bad boyfriends. We're bad.
Let's break all that down. When you say black women say black men ain't shit, can you define that a little bit more?
Well, in my opinion, what they're saying is we are not what we're supposed to be as men. Basically, that's my definition of it. When they say we're not shit, we're not doing what it is men are supposed to do, being responsible, taking care of our business, holding down jobs, whatever. We're not their definition of what a man should be. Okay,
so, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Do you think there's some validity if a woman has said, and I'm not saying that they haven't, because I know that they have said black man ain't shit. Is there some validity to that per the definition that you just gave me?
Absolutely. Some black men, not all, ain't shit. That's just a fact.
And what was the other thing you said that black women may be complaining about?
Well, they weren't complaining about this. Here's another. This woman says, there's plenty of fish in the ocean. Get out of your pond.
Okay, so I'm assuming that means go out and, date other men besides black men. Basically, there's more than black men in the sea. Well, I mean, that's sister's personal feeling, I guess, if you will,
Sure.
on the situation, but she doesn't speak for all Black women, just like all Black men that I see quite a bit on the internet as well, talking about it. There's this clown. I ain't gonna say his name. Y'all probably know who
You
I'm
can
talking
say my name. It's perfectly fine. I know who you're talking about. Just go ahead and say it. We've been friends for a long time. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
He's tried to take over Kevin Samuels, I guess, empire, if you will, by luring his followers over. And he has this hashtag. It says "Save Yourself, Black Man." And so
I
he's
think I
running
saw
around
that.
with
Yeah.
he's running around with a Filipino wife or whatever. And so he's telling all Black men that follow him, Black women are finished. Don't date them. They're this, they're that. Save yourself, right? So, I mean, just like he doesn't speak for all Black men, that lady don't speak for all Black women. I think people
Correct.
should apply their own feelings to their own situation. If you feel like dating a Black man is not for you, then you should go on and push on and go with whoever you feel is for you. But she can't tell those women what to do. I mean, it looks like it was a Black mixer, so clearly they showed up, to be with Black men. I would only assume, because I don't have
right.
any.
They haven't given up hope. But but the funny thing about it, when you go into the comments on that video, you just see the separation for what the men are saying and versus the women. I'm not saying all the comments, but a majority of the comments was so negative about the other group. And we were talking about that the other day of how we need each other, but the men are talking so bad about the women. The women are, get away from the men. And you can look at that. A lot of this is the younger people. The younger people are talking like that. And it's so sad because if you ask me, looking at the video, I'm not saying it's I can't go with the narrative. It's the promoter's problem because the promoter put it out there. Who saw it? What I think actually happened looking at it, because statistically, that doesn't make sense what happened if you look at it statistically. All these women and no men show up, or maybe one out of 80, whatever it is. Statistically, that's impossible. So either this thing was done as a joke or to make a point, because it doesn't make sense that only one guy, if no guy showed up. Statistically, that's impossible.
Or, I mean, I want to say this, I could be wrong, but I think there's probably something to it, because I sent it to a few people, and most of the women I sent it to said, but that's what we deal with, men, especially if we're dating, men not wanting to show up. And if they do show up, I've talked to a few ladies from young and older who said that they've gone on the first date. The man has got on sweatpants and a raggedy t-shirt, or he dressed like a teenager and Jordans and that kind of stuff. Like, he's basically put no effort, and the conversation was very dry and
But see, when you dress like this, you're called a simp or a square.
But see, that's another thing too. Who y'all dating? Because I know the women I know, they like a man that look like a citizen. No woman want to go out on no first date and see, because most women who go out on the first date, we get our hair done and our nails, and we dress to impress for the most part.
And we go into coffee.
Right? Right. Well, I mean, coffee is cool because I'm getting to know you. I might not want to have dinner with you. Like, coffee is good. Because let's say I'm sitting down at a 5-course meal with you at Steak 48 or whatever it is. And I don't really like you much. So I got to endure. And I guess I said endure.
Yeah.
I got to endure that whole meal with you. Maybe
and the walk home or the drive home and all that other stuff, just to get through it.
So a lot of women that I talk to who are dating and are trying to get out there, they say that. And then, per this term, and I've heard Kevin Samuels say this, a lot of men, and I'm applying it this way, a lot of men, I'm just speaking from a woman's point of view. I'm not saying women don't. They don't want to get it out the mud. Now, when I say get it out the mud, back in the day, Donovan, you're way older than me. But when we was coming up, if you saw a young lady that you liked at school or in the mall, you didn't text her. You didn't get in her DM. You had to.
I had to work at it. And it might not be successful. Get my Tic Tacs. You got to make sure you got your kit.
How you doing? I've been noticing you. We pass each other in the hallway every day, and I think you're a very nice, person. I'd like to get to know you better. Can I get your number?
You're
my
an
name
interesting
is
person. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get it out the mud, right? And then a lot of times you're like, or whatever. So the point that I'm making is, this is my personal opinion. I could be way off and out of space with this. I just think that a lot of people, and I want to say men, don't want to work for it anymore. They want that easy,
True.
let me jump in
True.
your DM,
True.
and let me just try to, schmooze you, because over the internet, you could be anybody you want to be. You could be,
You want to be
"Hi,
right.
my name is such and such. I'm the God-fearing man, and I'm looking for a God-fearing woman, and I just really want a good woman." All that nonsense. And then you get to meet the Joker, and it's like, you just want coochie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also got to think about, and everybody keeps forgetting this. There are more women in the world than there are men, so the odds are kind of in the men's favor. Like, I have 2 sons, right? And so when I'm talking to my son, and I'll see him and I'll be like, "Hey, what's this girl, whatever." He's like, "Well, Dad, I don't have to do, kind of like, what's your step 2? Let me hear it. Let me see if your game is good."
I'm a Cancer.
Yeah, look. Yeah. Cancer, do float on. You know what I mean? He told me he has no game because girls approach him. And we're in that era where the boys, they don't have to do a lot of work like we did. The girls, there's so many, the odds are in their favor that they don't put in the work like we used to.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, I guess too, maybe girls are a little more forward, but myself, I've not taught my daughter to step to no man. Okay. You are not stepping to any man and trying to get his digits or ask him out on no date. And I might have set her up for, as I'm saying this in quotation air quotes, failure as far as relationships, because I'm just gonna speak the truth. A lot of men are lazy nowadays, and I say men, young and old, where, like you said, the women are, hey, I want to date you, whatever. And so they feel like, well, what's the work for? But if you're traditional, a lot of y'all men, this is why I'm gonna have to, kick you in your backside. A lot of you men say, yeah, I want a traditional woman, but you don't have a problem with a woman coming up to you getting your digits. What man worth his weight want a woman to potentially carry him over the threshold? Well, we know you like to be treated like a rag doll.
Yes. Like I said, my last wife, she literally carried me over the threshold. She literally did it. And I loved every minute of it. Loved every minute of it.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
But I was still the man, though. That was just what we were doing in our relations part of the relationship.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah. I love tall, strong women. I love them.
But so that's what I'm saying. So, if you are a traditional woman, and I'm a traditional woman, like I said, I ain't never stepped to no man to ask him out on no date or say, hey, baby, I think you cute. I might have sent out a choosing signal or something,
Yeah.
But as far as, getting his digits, one thing I've never done, and I ain't gonna never do, is hop in a man's DM talking about, hey, you kind of sexy there. And I'm gonna say this, any man that is cool with a woman jumping in his DM to approach him, you wouldn't be the man for me. You wouldn't be the man for me.
Well, think about it. How many Maury Povich, Jerry Springer shows and all these things that you hear, paternity court, where the girl gets DM'd by the guy one time and they meet over the internet and then they have sex the same day. Don't even know the person. And, and I know it's kind of disgusting, but that's where these younger people are now. There is no dating.
Younger people,
it's a straight to the bed.
The older people do it too.
The older people, especially them old deacons and them old niggas, because they're trying to get it in before they get out.
Yeah, but the older people doing the stuff too. They, they're thinking that they chit-chatting with somebody over the internet and stuff. Oh, I know them, and then they go hop in the bed with them. Shit, they could have gave you 50-11 diseases and a whole bunch of sex demons for all you know. Yeah. But yet, you didn't have the discretion really to say, you know what, let me get to know this person or whatever the case is. And so again, I say all that to say a lot of people don't have to work for a relationship. And Brother Samuel, he gave me a book that I'm going to read. I haven't had a chance to read. It's about courting, and I want to learn a little bit more about that. We don't court anymore, and right. So these people at this, mixer, these women, they show up because that's, to me, I don't know if that's courting, but that's like, okay, well, let me see if I want to get to know you more. And that's old school, right? So maybe I could be wrong. Maybe those guys who maybe heard about this mixer who were single are like, well, you mean I actually got to talk and be impressive?
Right.
Because I'm used to doing it online, right? I'm used to jumping in her DM and saying I'm all this, that, and the other. I ain't none of that.
And it's a common thing. It's common.
Yeah. So I actually got to show up and be impressive.
Right. He's got that picture of him all buffed out that was taken 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Exactly. Or I got to actually go be able to have a conversation. I got to like know how to start a hey, so I'm glad that you showed up. Well, you know, what brings you here other than being single? Why did you choose? Like, I'm one of those people.
Oh, yeah. No. Nobody talks like that. You can forget that.
But I'm saying, I could have a conversation with somebody I just met just like that. It's like, it's not hard for me to have a conversation with somebody. Right. But I don't know, maybe I'm just guessing that's why a lot of men probably didn't show up, because like, damn, what do you mean I got to be impressive?
Well, if you think about it statistically, again, numbers, Black women are the most educated. A lot of them have degrees compared to their compadres. You know, it's very rare, not rare, but not a lot of Black, they may have gone to college, but they might not have graduated. They went and got a vocation, whatever. They're living their lives. But a lot of women are educated and they know how to talk and they know how to hold the conversation and they know, you know, the verb versus the noun and how to put it in there and all that other stuff. So yeah, you're right. It could be an intimidation factor because a lot of women do have college degrees, and then you're meeting these dudes. They might be, you know, fairly well, you know, working in the society, but they're intimidated by the fact that the woman might make more money than him, could talk better than him, have a better job than him. You know, maybe he's just a day laborer in construction or something. He has a self-esteem problem.
But you know, and I would concede that because a lot of brothers are probably like, damn, the sisters out here, they top, you know, some of them do want a man who's making all this money and he is 6 foot tall and this, that, and the other. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that don't mean nothing. He could be making a whole lot of money and be 6 foot, whatever. That don't mean he worth a damn. There's a lot of people running around here, you know, kicking it with giraffes and stuff, being that tall. They ain't worth shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would say to the brothers, damn, show up. And my motto is, did you die? You showed up. Maybe you didn't get to talk to a sister, or maybe you found, you know, some commonality with somebody, but just do it, right? And that's one thing I hate about the internet and these text messages, because people don't have, it's laziness. Like, you remember back in the day, I know you was having to string 2 cans together when you was courting women, but you had to get on the phone with Sinead
and make plans.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing today? And you know, you have to have a conversation, right? But now, you know how many dudes or girls probably sit on their phone. Okay, what am I going to say?
You know, and
they got to ask their friend, girl, he said this, what should I say? Instead of real time, you know?
Or if you think about it like this, especially for the ladies, you know, she might not give you her number, but she'll give you her IG, then you go on there and she's busting it out wide open. I mean, I'm not talking about naked. I'm talking about like she's showing everything. You know what I mean? And you're like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of the way it goes, I guess, in the dating world, is people will go to, hey, what's your IG or you know, social media? And, you know, you might be able to go look and see, oh, okay, you can kind of get a feel for what they're like. I think if somebody was to go to my Facebook, a guy would probably be like, oh, damn, that sister intense. So he would have
Burka. All you're going to see is Burka and eyes. Her dad monitors. Her dad monitors her page. All you're going to see is pictures of Demetra's eyes. That's it.
I mean, you're going to look at my page and say, well, that sister's about something, right? She's intense. Now, I don't share everything about me on social media because I think you should keep some things to yourself. Sure. But I think that's a good way to see, because, you know, even if I see a guy, I'm like, oh, he kind of cute. Let me go on this page. I'm like, because social media is, or
he's got the glasses with the gun showing
underneath women's clothes all the time. Like, I'm not a prude. I could take a joke and stuff, but if that's all your conversation, I'm like, yeah, he's cute. Get to it. But he ain't talking about much. And as my dad would say, you know, you put your mind on display, you know, and in social media, that is kind of what you're doing. You're putting your mind on display for somebody to kind of size you up. And if you really think about it, it's your digital resume.
It is.
Somebody wants to go check you out, even if it's a job or somebody who might be interested in you. Let me go see what, you know, what baby girl's about or whatever. And like, okay, like you said, she twerking. I see her booty all the time and her boobs, and cheap, gutted conversation, yeah, I'm probably not gonna want to wife her, so I'm gonna leave her alone.
Can I give the ladies that are looking for a real good man some advice? Okay, some really good advice. Okay. When a man is looking at your DMs or your IG or whatever, and you want a really good man, do not have your OnlyFans thing up there. Okay. All I'm saying is have a website where you look nice and you look normal, not your business page. Don't make your personal page your business page if you're into that. And like I said, I don't down anybody for doing what they do. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I just noticed that a lot. You see women, they'll, oh, here's my IG. Then you go there and you see the OnlyFans thing and the Cash App and the money bag. That's a red flag to men that really have money. That's a red flag to, those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you might not want to lead with your OnlyFans, on your regular page. But again, the social media is just one part of who you are, because like I said, a lot of people don't tell everything that they're doing. They might just show something here or there. But it is, I think, definitely a good indicator, which is what we didn't have back then, right? We didn't have what we call a digital resume, where a man or a woman can say, well, let me go check him out before I really want to, step to him or whatever. But, I just think a lot of people, especially since men are supposed to be the one that, does the approaching, I just think I think that's a lost art, and they don't know how to do that. Now, the other thing I would say to you is, men, is when you do step to a woman, I'm not saying you got to be making $1 million, but be about something. Don't step to her because you cute and you got the gift of gab, because eventually that's going to show up, and she's going to feel like you wasted her time. And so I think that's the problem too. A lot of men, and I don't know, I ain't going to speak for y'all, but I would just imagine that a lot of men are like, well, yeah, online I could be Prince Charming.
Absolutely.
I got to go meet this sister. I'm going to have to be about something. Listen, there's a lot of sisters that would date a man that's working in a warehouse, or who's a garbage, man. I don't know if they're a waste disposal, the technician or whatever they call. There's a lot of women who would do that. So don't strike out all sisters because you come across one gold digger who ain't worthy of what she asking for in the first place. Go give it a chance, right? Show up and see what happens.
Or, you remember my example. We went to a mixer or whatever it was, a bar or whatever. And, I'm throwing my old school calling card out there by, buying them drinks. And, if the girl ain't interested, that's fine. But that doesn't exclude you from being polite and saying thank you for the drink. You know what I mean, ladies? So,
Sure, you didn't splash the drink in her face and you said, F you.
No, remember I told her I got to go take a shit anyway. So thank you. No, but you know what I mean? We put a lot of onus on the men, but at the same time, the women have to reciprocate the proper response. If you're not interested in the guy, fine, you're not interested in him. But that doesn't preclude you from not saying thank you for the man to make the effort to take his hard-earned money, that drink, because you ordered the $30 one, to give you a nice drink.
Don't take the drink if, and I'm not saying that you bought the drink because she was going home with you, but maybe you can say, well, no, thank you, whatever. And I want to say this too. I'm going to say this to my sisters.
Well, it's a lost art. The girls have lost how to respond correctly.
Let me say this to my sisters. If a man approaches you and you are not interested, you don't need to tear that man down to size and break out the razor blades and lemon juice on him.
He too small. He too short. You ain't got no chance, nigga.
You know what? No, thank you. I'm not interested. I'm just kind of here just hanging out. But I think, thank you for thinking of me. You know what I mean? Let the man down. You ain't got to be doing all that.
Girl, he had the nerve to come over and approach me.
I mean, because I'm flattered when men, say something nice to me or, whatever. I'm not, who you think you talking to? We tell you don't talk to you can talk to me, sucker. Be nice. You don't have to say that, because what you do is not that it's his ego or his esteem is your responsibility, but you don't help him if he's truly trying to find a good woman. He comes up to you because he perceived you to be so, and then you cut him all up and down, one side, the other, and making him feel bad. Just say, you know what, that's very sweet of you, but today I'm just kind of just hanging out with my friends. But thank you for thinking of me. That really makes me feel good.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think the a lot of the younger women have lost the art of response. I call it the art of response. The guy makes a good gesture to you. There's nothing wrong with just a thank you is free, or no thank you is free. Just like you said, don't cut him down and cut the man out to where now he's bitter and he's going to go get him a Becky. He's out here trying, and yeah, the guy's 5'4". The average woman is 5'4". You want a man 6 feet, but unfortunately, the man that's 6 feet, he ain't making $1 billion like the guy you just let walk away.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with no man who's 5'4", as they say. A lot of good things come in small packages.
Amen.
I'm just saying, so sisters, don't discount that man that's 5'4". Yeah, it's not terribly tall. I'm 5'3", 5'4", depending on what day it is. So I'm fairly short. But I mean, I think we're not in a space and time, especially as sisters, to where we can say, oh, if he's not 6'2" and he's making six figures, then I don't want nothing to do with him.
Do you know what's crazy? If a lot of these young women would go look at Aunt Claudine's photo album when she has all the people in there, go look at your grandparents and see how tall they were compared to each other. Go look at your great grandparents and see how tall they were compared to each other. They're about the exact same size.
Yeah, and some of the men were shorter than those women because the woman was like, shoot, he got a good job down at the factory, child. I could get up off my feet at working at that white woman's house, and he gonna take care of me. She didn't think about he was shorter than her. She was like, he's a provider. He loves me.
He's a good man.
He's gonna be a good father. So shoot, that's what I'm talking about, because he's, like I said, these tree branch Negroes out here ain't worth a hill of beans, as my mama was saying. A lot of them ain't. So, you get caught up on good looks and tall and all of that. But
yeah. But, I mean, that video, like I said, I really think that was a put up video in regards to, like, it's like a trap video. Like they had this mixture and made sure no dude showed up, because statistically that didn't make sense. But if that is a real video, we as Black people have some work to do in regards to staying together and working together.
Absolutely. We need each other. Damn it. We need each other. We might not like each other, but we need to learn how to like each other.
Right. But I'm going to tell you what, if I was the only dude at that mixer, I would have been pulling all kinds of numbers. Trust that. I've been dancing with everybody, having a good old time.
You'd be like, wait a minute, sweetheart, I'll be right to you. I'm going to sit here real quick, and then I'm going to be over to you. Then I'm going to be over to you.
Right. No, matter of fact, line up, ladies. I'm at the table. I don't want to keep getting up.
No,
like we were in South Africa. I was ready to invite the whole club back up to the suite.
You would have been like, matter of fact, let's just scoot all these tables together, okay?
Yes. Y'all could just ask me any question you like. Yes. Well,
yes,
you.
So anyway, y'all, we are going to get out of here. We love and appreciate y'all if y'all stayed this far. Of course, we want to let y'all know this is not live. I'm pretty sure you figured that out by now. But if you want to donate to the channel, we have various ways of doing so. We have a PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Also, you can become a member. That also helps. And at the very least, like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We would love to have you here. We will be back here Wednesday. When I say we, I mean me and Walter. And it's Wealth Wednesdays. And I said I'm going to change it to Wild and Out Wednesdays with Walter. He is going to be bringing us financial education and things we need to know. It ain't always pretty, but yeah, it's real, and it's what we need to hear. And so stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. So anyway, we are going to get out of here. We love and appreciate you guys. Have a good evening and stay cool, because I know it is hot
very much so.
Hell out there in them streets. Peace.